I teach here at a four-year public university, which is also a Hispanic serving higher education institution. And I'm really part of an interdisciplinary department called Justice Studies, where we have a lot of faculty from different walks of life, whether that's sociology, criminology, international relations. And as such, at my college, which is social sciences and humanities, we have constantly that challenge of tailoring our pedagogical needs to also an ever so growing student population. And so in that sense, it was certainly a great opportunity for us to curate some classroom materials that are really tailored and custom made, and most importantly, very, very timely. So that was one of the major things I was really eyeing with that project. When I look at my research and teaching, I engage with political science, with social, cultural, economic issues, and particular injustice in the world. And to be honest with you, political science and international relations oriented textbooks really fall short in addressing some of these intricate and multifaceted global issues. And thus they can't really provide adequate pedagogical tools to help students better understand some of these transnational and multidimensional problems in today's world. And so in collaboration with my excellent colleagues here at Montclair State, I thus decided it'll be time to put together a textbook that really tackles some of these challenges. And we're thrilled here that in its current form, students are very excited to engage with some of the contemporary social, political, and international issues using our textbook. Given the very hands-on and empirically rich material we have curated for our Introduction to International Justice course, we really provide students with an easy to understand and very, very accessible way to learn about important and very complex social problems in a globalized world that not only prepares them to grasp these issues, but also readies them to tackle small and big challenges ahead of them in their increasingly internationalized, but also transnational careers, such as in the civil service, in the private sector, or in some more advocacy related work that they might be deciding on tackling to solve social and cultural, political, and economic issues, not only here in the US, but also abroad. The growing interest of non-majors who register for our interdisciplinary course here in the Department of Justice Studies really proves that the issues that we tackle and grapple with in our cutting-edge textbooks are not only timely, but also cut across disciplinary fault lines. And that makes it a great introductory textbook for many, many majors. When you look at our textbook, we have a large number of majors. I'd say around 150 to 200 each semester that really engage and sign up for these classes. But it's a gen ed course also. And so we have psych majors, biology majors, or even people who do comm or econ that really, really find it so compelling that it's an eye-opening experience because they see these contemporary, as I said, intricate and very complex and multi-layered, multi-dimensional issues from a completely new perspective. And given that we use a lot of case studies, a lot of empirical case illustrations, students really get some hands-on experience and some very easily digestible and comprehensible material that they can play with. Prior to working with this publishing company, we really relied on university press textbooks that, in spite of their reputation, were really not adamant in providing up-to-date versions. And thus for almost a decade, we had to teach students materials that were outdated, and the case studies were maybe not even adequate anymore because so many political factors, socioeconomic or cultural factors might have changed. And faculty, unless they really put an extra effort into providing supplementary materials to the students, were all stuck in sort of a time warp that didn't serve anyone, students and faculty included. And so as opportunity to work with you, have the materials readily available online or in print, and have the ability to quickly update it if necessary, will make this first edition and then the ones to come really a useful tool for our students and students at US or English-speaking universities. I'm a political scientist by training, working on international issues, but I've really worked extensively with sociologists, lawyers, and faculties of diverse related disciplines. And as such, it's really important for me to find a publisher who would be able to sort of embrace that type of work that is really diverse in nature, multidisciplinary, and above all, might change because of the imminent political and socio-cultural changes, such as the current war has shown in Ukraine, that really requires us to rethink and reevaluate some of our paradigms and concepts in international relations and in our world we live in. And so I think that's really very much important for me, that I can really engage with colleagues on a much broader level that is not only my initial training, but also embraces other perspectives. As I mentioned earlier, disciplinary fields such as political science, international relations, law, or sociology create boundaries that often hamper students' learning, and in particular, their understanding of complex contemporary issues, which are often multidimensional and transnational in nature. This lack of diverse and transversal textbooks that is not only interdisciplinary, but truly transdisciplinary, was for me the impetus to reach out to some of my colleagues here at Montclair State. And eventually we sat down together and then hashed out a roadmap on how we actually could fill the gap with a meaningful textbook that serves not only faculty, but students alike who engage with these contemporary and very intricate issues in an increasingly globalized world. My experience with the publishing team's editors and staff included, it's very professional, based on a mutual understanding of goals and objectives that we try to tackle together, but it also then developed into something more collegial and amicable over time. So I continue to share my story with colleagues and staff at institutions to promote a publishing alternative that really meets faculty and student needs and is therefore able to make an impact right there where it matters. Talking with faculty and students alike, both of them are really sold on the accessibility of the materials, including the ebook and print copies. And students really enjoy the rich and comprehensible cases and topics that are covered throughout the textbook, and especially some more tangential or marginal issues that are left out in more conventional or traditional textbooks. It is a really timely and easy to use textbook that provides an alternative way of teaching international and global issues from a justice-centric perspective, which unfortunately has been ignored in much of the literature in the field and across many of the disciplines. One of the things that struck me most when embarking on my collaborative journey with my Montclair State colleagues to write this manuscript is the combination of academic freedom, yet scholarly rigor that formed the driving force of our project. In other words, while we had the opportunity to include marginal topics such as youth activism or performance art, we're nonetheless adamant to provide students with methodologically sound and well-rounded concepts that advance their research and critical thinking skills beyond sort of the selected themes and topics, so that it becomes very much a foundation, the bedrock of their education when they take other classes that might be related or sometimes only tangentially related to what we are teaching.